Yo guys, Jen here, back with more Call of Duty Zombies content. Today's episode will be around the Tomb, a controversial Black Ops 6 Zombies map with a very interesting and fun to play map layout, incredible map lore and unique features, a really entertaining Easter egg from the story point of view, elemental weapon with the ice staff, as well as the boss fight. This map is going to be a fun one to break down that I cannot wait to get into the details for and ask you guys all of the questions that I have for this map. Now this is episode 15 of the Zombie series with all of my previous episodes on the channel, so on that note, let's get right into it. So I guess first things first, before we get into the details of this map, what it is, what it provides, all of the sort of fun details, I kind of want to start with my initial sort of expectations for this map and how I anticipated playing this. Going into this map, I heard a lot of negative reviews about this map, it being one of the worst maps in a long time, it being the worst one of all of Black Ops 6, which can be debated for various different reasons, which we'll go over in this video. And I guess going into this, I was, negative or pessimistic with how I was going to enjoy this map, or whether I was even going to have a fun time playing the Easter egg, whatever it may be. And I could safely say, after completing this map and playing the map itself all the way throughout and just completing the Easter egg, this is definitely not a bad map in any means. I would say this is definitely a really fun map to play out. It looks really cool in the dark ether. I think the map in itself just does not get the credit it deserves. I think it definitely isn't the Citadel Day More map, which we did in the last week's episode. And I would probably argue with all of the episodes to this point, if you guys are new to the channel, this is episode 15, as I said in the intro. And all the way throughout, we played from World at War, leading up to Black Ops 6 and going into Black Ops 7. That's the goal of this series. And I guess the main purpose of the series is to complete Easter eggs and go through it, so that's what we'll discuss in this video. But for this map, with the previous episodes to this point, you could argue for sure that this is the worst map or the weakest map I would play. I don't like saying this is the worst map because it definitely isn't a bad map by any means. It could be argued for the weakest map that I've done so far, and also the weakest map in Black Ops 6, definitely. But until I play Janice Towers, until we get into that sort of last episode, the finale of Black Ops 6, I'm not going to get to that sort of summary and overview of the entire game in itself. But I would say as a map and it's on its own, on a standalone game and map, this is a good map, and if it follows up Citadel Day More, which just so happens to be one of the best maps that I've ever played, not even just in this game, just generally one of the most entertaining maps that I've ever played. I love Citadel Day More. I talked about it in some great depth in last week's episode. Check that out. It's linked in the description in case you guys are interested. And that is what I would say definitely gave this map a sort of... The bar was set so high that it was always going to be hard to follow up. And I don't even think that this sort of failed by any means. I think this map is definitely worth playing. Definitely a fun map and a map I would definitely replay. I've got friends that haven't even played this map before who want to play it, who want to do the Easter egg, and I will definitely, hands down, will be able to tell you guys that I will definitely do that Easter egg, no question. And I mean, I'm always up for Easter eggs regardless. All you have to ask me about any Easter egg is when do you want to do it, basically, because it doesn't matter what map or game it is, as long as it's Treyarch, as long as it's a Black Ops game, or even World at War. Of course they don't have Easter eggs, but if it's an Easter egg that you guys want to do, and anyone asks me, do you want to do an Easter egg, I'm just going to ask you, when do you want to do it, because I love doing Easter eggs, and this map definitely is a map I would replay. And also worth adding that this is almost like the do not judge a book by its cover kind of map, or also just don't listen to someone's review and not play a map based on their review or opinions on it, because I've seen some mixed reviews. I have seen people say this map was really good as well, and they've also said this is definitely an underrated map. And now I can say that now that I've played it and completed the Easter egg, that this definitely falls into that category for me, at least, with it being a fun map to play, a map I just said I would replay, and definitely cannot wait to... I can't actually wait to sort of go back into this map, knowing how to do it now, because in this exact attempt that you're watching right now, this was the first ever time playing this map properly. I've only ever played it twice, so this was the second time I've ever played it, but this was the first time I'm actually trying and attempting the Easter egg, and I managed to do it successfully on the first attempt. It was not a difficult map in itself. I'd say it definitely had its challenges, which we'll get into the map layout and all that sort of stuff in a short second, but in itself, I played it twice, and I have enjoyed it both times, and I definitely don't understand to the full sort of degree as to why people hate this map, and that's the word I've seen used, and sort of one references it, which I think is quite extreme. I could see how you could get bored of it in terms of a high round potential, but if you guys fall into that category of not liking this map, or just even hating it, please let me know down below in the comments, because I am just interested and curious. I'm not going to fight anyone or anything, or argue. I just want to know what is the factors, the main contributing factors as to what makes this map a bad map, or is it simply, as I said, it just followed up a really good map with Citadel Day More, and therefore has a stigma to it with people coming back to replaying it, because in my experience, this was a really good map, and definitely going to be one that I'm going to replay with my friends. And with going into this map, as I said, I was quite pessimistically looking at this. I wasn't looking forward to it by any means. It was almost like I was trying to do it because I had to tick it off the list, because I'm working my way through Black Ops 6, and I cannot go into Black Ops 7 knowing that I've not completed all of the Black Ops 6 maps. So that's kind of, I guess, part of one of the sub-goals of this series, is to just play all the maps, but also complete all the Easter eggs, of course, that are applicable to any map. And getting into it and actually now finally completing it, I was like, wow, I'm almost really annoyed that I had that sort of mindset going into it, because I should have openly looked at this map with an open eye and just said, I'm going to just embrace this map, and whatever comes is what I'll think of it. Not having like the, oh, this is just a map I have to play kind of thing. And although I did enjoy it, as I said, I wish I'd gone into it with a more positive mindset, knowing that I'm going to actually take away some good positives from this map and actually really enjoying it. So I guess that's a little bit of an inspiration for anyone that maybe hasn't played this map before, or maybe if I've changed your view by watching the end of this video at the end of it, that you may want to come back and actually replay this map and see if I can help change your mind on what you guys think of this map in itself, because maybe you played it right when it came out at the start and you didn't enjoy it, like I said, because it followed up Citadel, or because you just don't enjoy it, whatever it may be. So hopefully this sort of view in itself, an overview of this map in itself, has hopefully changed your view, or at least by the end of this video it does. Now this map I would say definitely falls into like a B tier category for me, and I'm not going to define what that means at this point, because I'm going to make a set sort of ranking video in itself for all of the Black Ops 6 maps and all of the maps in themselves, putting them all together eventually. That's what I'll get around to doing as a summary of this series. But for this map I would say it definitely falls into like a B tier, which is not bad by any means. There's just a lot of good A tier maps, and there's a handful of S tier maps. And just to give you an idea on what I would define as an S tier map, I would say Origins, Der Reisendrache, Gorod Krovi, Derice, if you want to talk about just on an individual scale, not including Easter eggs. Like I said, it's just my S tiers. If we're going on a set criteria, then the list changes drastically. But for me, in an overall experience of playing this map, from high round potential, map layout, unique features, Easter egg experience, boss fight, all of that sort of stuff included, I would say this is definitely a B tier map. And you could even argue that it's an A tier map, but I'm not going to go that far. I need to play it more, and then I'll come back to my view on it and where it would say. But I would definitely say it's safe to put this in a B tier. I think a C or even lower tier sort of is just not fair and not justified for this map for what it does. And I'd definitely say that this map belongs in that sort of category. I'd say it's a fun and unique map layout in itself, unique features all the way throughout. An elemental weapon, I'm a simp for these. I absolutely love any elemental weapon, and the fact that this map has an ice staff, which is literally one of the stars from the Origins map, one of my favorites of all time, literally ticks a good box in the right direction for me. I'd say it's a pretty easy and also enjoyable Easter egg in itself. The journey is fun, the story is interesting, and the boss fight is incredible. The arena and the boss are very fun to play out, although intense and challenging. I absolutely loved it. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that Easter egg. I thought it was definitely a unique one, something that I really enjoyed. Definitely did challenge me as spell, especially I had to use a mutant injection in this. Like I said, it was the first time I was doing this map, but I wanted to make sure I got this map done first time and didn't fail it. And this is, like, I can safely say I did it, and I would definitely say and recommend that this is definitely worth playing out, especially for the Easter egg point of view. Now, I'd say the map comparison, it definitely gets overhated when you think about other maps in comparison to it. On a standalone basis, I think this map could be argued for an even better ranking, but on a comparison basis, when we think about Black Ops 6 or even just other maps in general, I can understand to a degree why this map gets held down. And like I said, all the way through to this point in episode 15, I would say this is the weakest map that I've played probably to this point, arguably, but that is debatable, of course, and we'll get into that in another video for the rankings. But also, I'd say out of all of the Black Ops 6 maps, this is definitely one of the least enjoyable. Absolutely, I can see and side with that, but it doesn't mean it's a bad map. It just means that the rest and the standard set by Black Ops 6 to this point was just so good. I think Terminus in itself was really good. That map is incredible. That is episode 13 of the series, also linked in the description. I went into a lot more detail on that map, as well as Citadel Day More, as I said, was episode 14. A map that I really enjoy, both of them, and all around, I would say they both set the map really, the sort of bar really high, both being A tier maps in my rankings. Incredible throughout, and as I said, as a massive Easter egg guy, this map also ticks a lot of those boxes. And reminding you guys, in case you guys are new to the channel, or even if you guys have been sticking around throughout this series, I'd also like to thank you firstly. But secondly, the reminder is that the ultimate goal for this series is that I'm trying to complete the Easter eggs on every single possible map. If the map doesn't have an Easter egg, then it's simply me just playing it and giving an overview. If the map has an Easter egg, I have to complete the Easter egg in order to share with you guys my overview and summary of this video. Now, this is not a guide on any Easter egg by any means. I always make that clear in every single video, in case you guys were coming to this video for an Easter egg guide or whatever it may be. For whatever reason, that is not what this video is. It's purely me giving you a summary. And also for myself, this is like an archive. I want to one day look back and have done all of the maps and look back on the playlist for this little zombie series that I've got going on, and I'll be able to say that I've completed every single Easter egg, however many there'll be at the time I complete them all, and say that I've got all of them on the channel for you guys to go back and look at, but also for myself as an archive, because there are so many Easter eggs I've done over the years for all of the older maps that I actually forget, and I'm sure you guys are in the same boat as me on this one. Let me know down below in the comments in case you guys are, that there's so many different maps or cool experiences in those Easter egg journeys that we've gone along, even boss fights themselves, that I want to be able to look back on and remember via watching videos and whatever it may be that's on this channel. So not only is it for you guys to help share you guys and maybe inspire people to play new maps, play zombies in themselves, and get people into Black Ops 7, but also for myself as a, like I said, an archive for all the maps and experiences that I've had to this point. Now, I'd say Black Ops 6 in itself definitely does not get the love it deserves. I've seen a lot of negative reviews going into Black Ops 7 with people just not being confident with how this game has turned out. And to add to that, I am an OG. I have played this game. I've played zombies ever since World at War. If you go check out episode 1 in the series, it was about World at War, working my way through. I have been around ever since 2009 for zombies, and I absolutely love this map and game in itself. I would say this is definitely a strong contender for one of the better sort of games in itself for zombies. I'm not going to say it's top 3 with the likes of Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, even Black Ops 1, but it definitely could be contending with the likes of Cold War and Black Ops 4, whatever it may be, or even World at War, depending on how you want to view things, but in different criteria. But I'd say Black Black Ops 6 has been really fun so far, and I really am looking forward towards Black Ops 7. Just a little touch on that point. But for this map, going back to the Self and the Tomb, the layout is a large map. It has interesting areas and features all the way throughout, all mostly used in the Easter egg, including the Nowhere area, the Dark Dimension, the second dimension on this map with cool side Easter eggs as well as the golden armor. All of those sort of factors and features in this map make this a really good map, being so detailed, and I'd definitely say it should get more love for itself. As for like high round, I haven't really attempted anything myself on a high round, and I guess it wouldn't play out that great for a high round, so I could understand maybe if that's why people wouldn't like it. Also, due to the colors on the normal world, maybe it feels a bit bland and dry, so the replayability wouldn't necessarily be as fun to come back to. And also for any newer players, I could say that if you was to come to this game for the first time and play Zombies for the first ever time, I could kind of understand how people wouldn't enjoy this. But as an OG fan, I like I said, if you've been around throughout the whole of this series up to episode 15, you guys know that I really like Zombies. I'm very passionate, as you could probably already tell just by listening to this video, and I absolutely love this map. Also, the map having parasites, vermin, doppelgars, amalgams, and electric mimics all make this map so much more challenging, as well as enjoyable and rewarding to achieve both high rounds and also just generally to survive and do an Easter egg. Now, the Easter egg in itself, to remind you guys, this is not a guide, but the Easter egg in itself is pretty straightforward. It doesn't take too long at all. You could probably do this in an hour. You have to pretty much, as always, start the map, go through the map, get to the Pack-a-Punch, open up all of the map, and then get into the Dark Ether. Then you need to obtain the Ice Staff 3 parts. You need to defeat the Electric Mimic, grab the first part. You then need to do the Lantern Step in the 2 different caves, complete the Roman numeral puzzle, the 1 to 10 and the 1 to 8, collect the 2 parts from the 2 Lantern Steps, go into the Dark Ether, defend the Ice Staff whilst creating it, and then eventually you will have it. Then you need to go on to the step of upgrading the Ice Staff, where you need to shoot 3 purple lanterns in 3 different areas on the map within a certain time frame. You then need to head back to the Dark Ether, shoot the 3 rocks in the air to obtain the 3 symbols, note them down. Then you need to find one of those fast travel doors, one of the 4 around the map that will be sealed. Then you need to shoot the sealed door that will have 8 symbols on it, shoot the 3 corresponding ones that you noted down, and then eventually go through the into the Dark Ether, interact with the orb once you're on top of that floating rock, follow it around the sort of Dark Ether itself, collect souls, stay close to it, and then you're onto the sort of finale step before the boss fight, where there are 4 trials. And then once you get the upgraded Ice Staff, these trials are actually pretty easy. You need to shoot the vermin, the parasite, the doppelgars, and amalgam trial statues in order to actually complete them one by one by shooting each one at the start with the left on the D-pad, the vigor sort of element of the Ice Staff, the revival aspect. Shoot each of the statues, they'll light up purple, grab the crystals, take them to their respective statues in the other dimension, complete the trials. After each one is completed, you have to collect the crystal and then escort it back to the sort of designated locations in the Dark Ether. And once all 4 of those are done, you can pretty much start the boss fight. But obviously, I would recommend, in case you guys are watching this and you haven't sort of done the Easter egg or you weren't aware, obviously make sure you are prepped for this Easter egg boss fight, because it is actually pretty difficult in terms of not being set up. If you, of course, are set up, you have the elemental Ice Staff as you would for the Easter egg requirement, then it's not actually that difficult. It's just about generally surviving and understanding the concept of how you go about the boss fight and how you sort of survive in itself with using your surroundings and also the wipe element at the end. But I'd say the boss fight in itself has 4 phases. It's really fun in itself in terms of how much sort of chaos is going on and how much it requires you to pay attention and lock the fuck in. And on this, I would say there are 4 different sort of phases to this, with the first phase being a really basic one. You have to interact with the Sentinel artifact that's in the middle of the arena itself, and then it will start these laser phase, and it kind of gives you a bit of a taster on what you need to do and how you survive in this arena by avoiding the lasers that spin around. They deal damage to you. Once you sort of survive and deal with all the zombies, it will then eventually be able to be sort of, it's open to being damaged, and then you need to just shoot it, and then you're on to the second phase. The second phase is the exact same thing, but there are 2 of them. You then need to shoot the 2 Sentinel artifacts, and then you're on to the third phase. The third phase is a bit more difficult because you have to survive, break one of the 4 Sentinel artifacts that are around the room, defeat all of the special, elite, and regular zombies, and then once you defeat them, there will be a heavy zombie with a Sentinel artifact inside it. You then need to defeat that one, shoot the purple Sentinel artifact that's just floating there, deal further damage to the boss in itself. Generally just survive in the arena by destroying all of the elite zombies and just keep shooting the Sentinel artifact that drops on those sort of those heavy zombies in themselves. Do enough damage to them, and eventually all of the Sentinel artifacts that you've destroyed will be aligned above you in the center of the arena and shoot towards one final location where you'll need to quickly get there and just shoot the hell out of this thing before it basically wipes the entire map and kills you, just like in the Terminus boss fight or in other Easter eggs in the past, like in Black Ops 3 with the Gatekeeper and stuff like that. Just basically do as much damage as possible, and then you've done the Easter egg. That is pretty much it. It's not that difficult. It is definitely challenging and a bit chaotic, especially if it's like yourself, if you're like me and you're doing it for the first time. But in itself, I would say it was definitely a really enjoyable Easter egg in its entirety. The map was really fun, and in summary, I would say I cannot recommend this map enough to try out, especially if you've heard that this map is not great, or in case you've played this a long time ago and you need to come back and play it again just to see if your opinion still sticks, because I hopefully, like I said at the start, I've inspired you and changed your opinion on this map, because I found this map really fascinating, really interesting, and also more importantly, really enjoyable to both play out and complete the Easter egg. But with that said, guys, that's pretty much the video as a whole. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, do not forget to like and subscribe. It massively helps me out. I'm a small creator, as you can see, and hopefully you can join me on this journey with completing all of the Easter eggs, as this is episode 15 and we have plenty more to come If you have any comments, tips, or tricks about playing zombies, or even this map, or any suggestions about future videos that you want to see on the channel, or any maps that you might want to play with myself and completing Easter eggs, please let me know down below in the comments, as I'll happily get back to you guys. I'm reminisce. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.